Hey everybody. I know it's been a long time since you guys have seen me. Love and light to everybody. Um, for those of you who haven't seen me before, I am Koya Glaudé. I'm a psychic, shaman, high priestess. We go through different, levels of spiritual ascensions and tests and things like that. So some people know about like things called the mystery school and things like that. And we go through these different initiations in the spirit realm. And we go through the dark night of the soul, and we train, and all these other things. And some of us actually train in the 3D, like with actual magic and candle magic and stuff like that. And then some people actually have natural abilities, so you kind of get placed into this idea, this concept where you can ascend your powers and things like that. And so normally, traditionally, they've always called the women witches or high priestess or things like that. And the one title that they don't usually give women are wizards. So I ascended into being a grand wizard, the first, but technically it's more like the first named. There are many ancestors, I believe, that already reached those goals. So, yeah, and doing the work and just in the 5D, which I've always kind of been a part of, and very well aware of it. So I've always kind of lucidly been able to communicate on different levels, things like that. So being called a wizard at all or a grand wizard is something very different, specifically because they're always trying to put us in the witch category, which actually witches are, hey sis, witches are technically a part of the Book of Monsters. And I've talked about y'all about the Book of Monsters before. Book of Monsters is like all the names that we know, right? Black Widows, Warlocks, what else? So many levels of it. And witches. And so the misconception is that it's not about dark witches or light witches. If you're a light witch, then you are a wizard. But they didn't want us to be called wizards. So, and then being a grand wizard is absolutely out of there, right? And a lot of these organizations were attached to organizations that have a lot of not good initiations, right? So, the Masons, the Illuminati, gang affiliations, things like that. And it turns into something else. Some of these people are bred and groomed from the beginning to be a part of it. And then sometimes you're just kind of stumbling across it because you're going through certain ascensions and certain levels of dimensions, right? I am somebody that can go through other dimensions. It has never been something that's like lucid for me, like, but I lucidly always have seen in the 5D. So the dark soul that I went through was more of like a spiritual initiation that went very wrong. There were a lot of projections. There were a lot of people after me. There were a lot of people doing the most, interfering in business and cloning phones and cloning conversations and cloning themselves and shape-shifting themselves and using grave magic and all types of things. And I've talked to y'all about it before, the sex magic, the grave magic, things like that. People literally having dead bodies jump into people and attacking them. I spoke on being attacked over the summer, which absolutely involved some type of magic, some type of spell work, some type of dark magic, definitely some type of grave magic, absolutely some shape shifting situations. So with that said, to get yourself out of the matrix, you have to literally just speak, right? You have to speak on it. And for me, I try to be very diplomatic about things, hoping that people will turn themselves in or deal with things. Da, da, da. So my violator from the summer is somebody that people know in the city, and currently was walking around, helping Greg Grant do his campaigning, and he's out here walking around the community, and he is not a well person. Also, pretty much, I'm pretty sure he's been stalking me since I was young. We were in, we definitely crossed paths a few times. We were very much in similar, like, competitions in the city, things like that. I'm kind of just now remembering that. I met him at my granddad's funeral years ago. And then all of a sudden, while I'm doing the spiritual work, I start remembering, like, yo, is this the little snobby kid that I used to go against in competitions when I was doing spoken word and things like that, monologues. And yeah, so his name is Carl Thomas. Some of y'all know him as like Ward 5 Youngin or anything. Please be careful around him. Please make sure that I don't know the situation with him and his family and his wife or whatever, but he is not a well person. He's not a well person, and it's time for somebody to speak out about it, because there's so much magic being done. Also, why I spoke about my friend Winter Walker. Also, speaking about certain family members that I absolutely know dabble in magic. Aunts, uncles on my dad's side. It's a lot. And when you are somebody who's naturally magical, you come into these things and you're like, what in the hell is going on? So you got Masons coming after you because they're in some type of weird competition that you don't know anything about. And then you got old ass Masons coming after you. And you like my grandfather was a Mason. Both grandfathers were Masons. So I don't really understand any of that. Y'all know me, like, I ain't about that life. Like, I don't do anything that has any initiations or anything like that. I just kind of naturally go about, and they're used to males winning the competitions and things like that, and it's like a whole thing. But y'all know I was on a divine union journey, and I very much was very sure who my divine masculine was. But then I was like, this is so traditional, right? Like, why is it so traditional? And it's not about it being traditional. It's about like being stuck in tradition in that way, right? And I started kind of breaking down things. Like, it's like I very much knew who my person was, and I started causing all these issues. And I've talked about him many times just because I know him. First of all, when you're doing this work, you start coming out of a lot of stuff. Like, there's been spell work placed on so many people at such a young age to block you from getting into your union. Like, I'm finding out, like, my godbrother's mother and all types of stuff. Like, my cousin's ex-husband. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. My father's best friend, who's my godfather. Just a lot of stuff. Like, interferences in people's paths, people going in people's Akashic records and their blueprints, things like that. Like, just not cool, right? Like, going above and beyond to see what somebody is. And there are, certain things like prophecies and things like that happen, and Jesus' second comings and all these other things that, like, I guess people pay attention to on that level. And we know we're in a male-driven world where people are just chasing after certain things, and I'm just not one of those people. But when, when people who have been breeding people for this, or grooming people for this, and then you got like somebody coming in not paying attention, don't know what's going on, just blah, 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 like this is what I'm doing, I'm going through my sentence. And what happens is that people get hateful and people start using magic and possessions and voodoo with dolls and all types of stuff. And I'm talking like, I don't remember some things specifically from the last summer or so, like the last 2 years. And like I was getting attacked by the spiders and all this is black magic, right? And then with the violation part, it was kind of just like, I just didn't remember the whole thing. So, I traced it back to like it was in the J that he gave me. And I just it was crazy because it was like, also I was being like watched by like what they call monitors, which are basically flies. And also they can put eyes on your items in your house. And so I'm pretty sure there was some recordings done, things like that. Just feeling really violated the past couple of months, just feeling like people were watching me. And I did pull out my little meter thing just to see if there were any cameras around. I've definitely found some, and so it's just like, or signals. And y'all know I use my phone and all types of stuff. People have absolutely hacked into my phone. Monies have been moved around, things like that. And I'm just like, what is going on, right? And so, in the journey, is difficult because there's people that block it. And just because you're on the journey and you're trying to build the journey up, it doesn't mean there aren't interferences. But I'm the type of person where I don't know exactly what I'm doing, as far as like, I didn't go into my Akashic records, like not on purpose, like not lucidly, you know what I'm saying? And what's really hard is like, I'm just trying to like get this together. And like, for me, I look at it like me and my divine masculine building an empire, building a dynasty. Like, I was, like the UniKOY dynasty, right? So because it's about me building a community and building the community around me, my family around me, healing me and my family, and making sure that we can all get to where we got to get, and vice versa with my masculine. And also not restricting myself in a way where, I've always talked about having like multiple layers of like men that I can communicate with, but also can teach how to love properly. And they can either stay with me, I can have multiple husbands, or this is about shifting everything into the age of Aquarius. So like, and also like being able to like give that to a man, and then being able to like be like, okay, now you can go build your dynasty, or you can stay here, whatever it is. But it's about us being able to do the work. And also during this work, I found out that like they've been targeting a lot of the Gen Zenners, the Zennials, because most of us are a part of the 144, which are the people that are supposed to bridge the gap and help everybody to ascend to the 5D. So, with that said, a lot of people just they blocking it. So it's just time for people to, wake up so we can be fully integrated into, 5D consciousness, mind, body, and soul, within the 3D world, being able to combine those together and being fully integrated. And, it's just really time for people to wake up and understand what the time is, where we're going. So I am very sure who my person is. I think I'm the type of person where I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna keep things to myself, blah, blah. But like after a while, it's just like you start getting so many things, and I'm looking at my thumb, I'm seeing the initials on my thumb. I'm like, this is weird. This is somebody I've known since I was younger. And then it's weird because then you start thinking about all the things Like I'm figuring out there's people that I've lived next door to that were just like, yo, were you like? So like there was this little boy that I used to be like really close to, that I lived next door to. when I was living on Allison Street, and his name was DC, and I was like really close to him, and then he ended up moving. Now at the time I was like, I don't remember what his real name was. Like, what was his name? Like, his nickname was DC, right? You know, anybody's name, especially the city, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like going through my head, and I was like, yo, this kid looks so much like Rock Mikey from UCB. Like, I'm in my memory, like looking through it, right? And then I kind of had this flash, and I'm like, yo, was that kid's name Mike? And so I was like, what's that kid's name, Mikey? So I'm going through all of this, like, in my head, like, looking at the last 2 years of, like, people I know. And I start remembering people, like, when I was taking lessons at Wilson, Wilson Pool. I start remembering people that I met when I was at Tadpoles at Duke Ellington, and, like, walking up and down the art hallways. Like, it's, like, and some of these people are people I'm connected to in the band. So I'm sitting there like, yo, is this why I met the band? Like, so it's just, I'm going through all these things, and, you know, remember I told you I feel like I was cloaked from seeing G Money when I went, you know, to DuPont Underground. And what it was sort of a cloaking, because there are people that have dug into people's Akashic records and tried to keep them away from their path because of whatever's supposed to happen. So, like, somebody trying to switch up the rules of the divine unions being from this, like, very traditional box into, like, being like, oh, I want a dynasty, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's one of those, like, oh, do you say it? Like, what if you're, what y'all know I believe about speaking out about faith. And even if you don't have full confirmations, but you feel like you know that's your person, you know, so, like, I talk about them enough that, you know, I feel like people have kind of put it together. They've had to put it together because I've been attacked for the last 6 months, for the last 2 years, really. But, so Marcus Clark is absolutely my divine masculine. Now, whether or not he has lucidly dealt with that, or has decided that he's going on the journey with me, is a different subject. But it just is, y'all. I'm open about it, and I've talked to y'all about it enough that I wanted people to learn how this journey looks, but also how it can get very scary. Like, and there are things that, projections that have been sent to me, like full on projections of, like, very scary things. Like, I'm talking full projections of, like, gang rape and, like, all types of shit. Okay. And I remember as a kid kind of receiving, like, projections like that. People being sent to me to try to, like, kill me, or, like, put energies on you, or, like, you know, spell work. Spell work can just be speaking. And if you speak to them every day, it's like going back into that hole, going back into that hole, going back into that hole. And it's really just time for people to, like, wake up, you know? And I just wanted to come on and share my journey. Y'all been listening to the cards enough that y'all know I've been going through some type of ascension. A lot of people have, specifically the Zennials, because it's time for us to really move forward into the age of Aquarius properly, into the new world. There's a lot of people that have been talking about it being chosen and all these other things, because it's time for our lineages to be woke up. It's time for our lineages to not hide anymore. It's time for us to come into our power. And, you know, there was definitely some agendas in the world, right? You know, so, like, the Red Dragon agenda with Asia, and then the infiltration of the Asians and trying to infiltrate the black community so that basically our pharaohs couldn't wake up. It was a whole thing. They're basically keeping some of them asleep. And I'm not saying that's all of them. The ones that are mixed, that reside in the black community, the black history, usually don't have that problem. But that means they also probably have a parent as a part of that problem. So, yeah, so that's, I really wanted to share that, and kind of just update everybody, And I am going to get off for right now. I'm going to pull one message oracle card. Just to, I just wanted to just show my face today because I realized I haven't been on for a while. Say, stay strong. And trust in the magic. Gotta love that. Trust in the magic. So it's about being able to speak about what you are with it, regardless of, be without malice, regardless of how people behave. Everything I've been telling y'all is just facts. The kitchen witches, the people using sex magic, dark magic, observing silence, you know what I'm saying? Chestnut checkers. Time to reflect and time to ground. So, y'all know I ain't got no cut cards. Y'all know I would be like, this is my dude. And like, I don't do all of that. But sometimes you just have to. You dig? So, now, regardless of what humans out here think they're doing, this is what I'm doing. This is my mission. This is my goal. And it is what it is. So, Vision Quest, which is exactly what it was. And a lot of us 80s babies are going through different spiritual tests right now because it's time for us to move forward away from the old generation. Breathe for us. Anything else, Spirit? Fog, veiled. So it's time to lift the fog. It's time for all illusions to be lifted. It's time for all projections to be lifted. It's time for all spell work to come off of people. It's time for people to wake up. And because it's happening everywhere. It's time to put these magic laws in order. It's time for people to speak up, tell the truth. Dream time, creation. Create what you want. Create the life you want. Cloud shape shifting, exactly what I was just talking about. People can put people's shoes on and take on their spirit and take on their energy. But people are absolutely getting violated in that way. And it's like being drugged. Like, it's like really literally being like drugged, right? And there's a lot of, and I've already kind of broken down the list of like the kitchen witches and things like that. What that looks like. And people need to be careful. Okay. Ceremony. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share that. Any last messages? Or you want me to do the tarot deck real quick? Okay. And then people trying to block your clear audiences and, you know, your clears, but some of us just don't need it. I mean, we need it. I just need all my clears to open immediately, and ran back to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's a lot of hidden stuff. Like, I know in my family, I was trying to kind of figure out, like, I know I had some aunts on my granddad's side, right, Spirit? Yeah. So on my granddad's side, and I really wanted to figure out what was going on with them because they were natives, and I do resonate highly with that as well. And you know, we have the Creole background, and then there's natives on my mom's side as well. There's natives on both sides, and you know, they just it's a lot. It's a lot. I found out on like my granddad's side. So on my granddad's side, it's very much, or my granddad on my mom's side, I found out there is some, I don't know whose side is it? His mom's side? No, his dad's side. Dad's side has some Trinidadian roots. So there's it's a lot of stuff. But with that, your magic and your natural abilities, right? Your natural magic, your natural abilities. That's what we're moving into. We're getting out of that Scorpio forced magic, dark magic, physical candle magic. We're getting more into the natural magic age, because we would be in the 5D consciousness in the 3D world, right? So, where, manifestation is high and things like that. That's why I tell people, like, watch your diets and things like that. So, I was really just minding my business, trying to follow my path and figure out so that's all. And most likely that also means that my parents have been cloaked in some way with their gifts, whether it's from their family, their sisters, their siblings. It's very much time for people to just fess up, share the family books, share the family secrets. People are not, they're choosing like one person in the family. You know what I'm saying? They're choosing one person in the family to like share their things with, and it's very greedy because it's really supposed to be sharing with everybody. And the Illuminati, like, and then the Illuminati's like super deep in it, and I'm starting having all these weird flashbacks. Like, so my friend Jessica, who I haven't talked to in a long time, like almost 2 years, and found out that like my mentor Judy was like doing the most, and had to kind of take myself away from that. And a few of my mentors I had to like completely like cut myself off from. Y'all have heard me talk about Reverend Brown. Y'all have heard me talk about Judy. Like, these are people I really trusted, and then I realized they were trying to get me away from. One had a of course, they don't want y'all to hear it. That's why. the tapper rappers don't want y'all to hear it. That's all. So, Spirit, can you just keep that going and try to clean that system up? Thank you. So, it's very much about people being transparent, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of there's generations. There's generations of hold on, I need to do some interference. Let's see. Okay. Might just have to work through it. So, yeah, so it's very much like, it's really, so it's very much about, people just kind of digging in their family shit. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Hello. Yeah, so, even when I was in PG Parks and things like that. Hello. There was a lot of people doing spell work there that people didn't really realize. And I'm talking about real spell work. Like, absolutely real spell work. So, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, it'll come back up. So, what was I saying? So yeah, so I was sitting here trying to I was trying to basically teach and show people. Did that work? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, people just need digging in anything. So yeah, so I was like sitting here and I was going through my like memory bank, right? And I was like, why do I feel like I've known this girl before? And then I started thinking about like people I've known and people I've known and things like that. And I'm like, why do I feel like I remember this girl from somewhere? And I couldn't think. I'm thinking of all the places that I've been to, right? Like I used to go to Garden Club or 14th Street. I used to go to, I used to live next door to this family. And I remember I went to this birthday party. And it was after my friend moved. It was the family that came in after that. It really was part of the first white family, like with kids and everything. And I remember going in there and it was 3 siblings. And I remember going to this little birthday party of the youngest daughter, Magenta. And I was like running around. And I was a girly girl, but like she was younger. And so I was a girly girl. And I remember seeing this little girl that was kind of like a tomboy, but not really. I mean, yeah, like a tomboy. But, and we were really cool. And then I looked back in my memory bank and I was like, I don't know if that's possible. I was like, was that my friend Jessica? So it's like I had these moments where these little flashes come back. Like, DD from the band. Like, I was like, yo, he looks familiar. And I know he went to Duke. And I'm sitting there trying to remember, like, do I know him? Like, why do I know him? And I was like, yo, when I used to go to Tadpoles, in the evenings, which is a dance program, I used to walk down this hallway that had like it must have been their fine arts hallway, and I was like, I remember this boy, and I couldn't remember his name, and I was like, what was his name? I really could not remember his name. But we used to like have these little conversations, like while he would kind of like walk me to my ballet class. I don't know where my sister was. I don't know if he was with both of us or she must have just like went on already and I probably was slow walking and bobbing, so just doing anything. And we might have had class at different times. I don't remember. Oh, my sister sometimes would come with my mom. And so I would walk down the hall and I would see him all the time. And we would talk about art and stuff like that. And I was like, was that the same boy? Like, so it's like all these weird things. Like when you go through these spiritual ascensions, you go in your memory bank. And I was thinking like, okay, I used to be in these swimming classes at Wilson High School. And I was like, and then you would get like free play afterwards. And then I was like, yo, I swear some of these little things from man. Like, I think I know these dudes. And of course I know some of them because we were all we were raised in the same neighborhood. But it was just like, I don't know. It was very strange. It was a very strange journey when you're going through these like spiritual journeys, and I didn't do it like forcefully going into my Akashic records, anything like that. I really just went through the ascensions, which were not fun. And then people were playing games and throwing spells and throwing spell magic, and yeah, you know, I talked about the covens and the miscarriages and things like that. And that was real. That's real. So, um, you know, so it's not about people being ashamed. It's just about people realizing what they're doing, that they're selling their soul to something very dark. And that you just gotta be careful. Like, I've tried to warn a couple people about the Illuminati specifically, and the Masons, because they had such a reemergence. And there's just a lot of like perversions in these places, and then they try to infiltrate other things like the mystery school, and there's all these other, you know, but I'm just like naturally doing what I do, you know. So yeah, that's it. So we're gonna check in on this storyline, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know me, I ain't the type of person that's like embarrassed. Like, if I like somebody, if I love somebody, if I want to be with somebody, I'm gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's been just a weird journey. It's been a hella weird journey. But you know, there's a lot of uncoverings with the 80s babies right now. So people need to look through their lineages, look through your family. And people in like competition for some like ancestral thing, and they don't realize like it doesn't leave out your siblings. Okay, back on in. So, the hair fonts. Okay, spirit, you just gonna come off all break. Okay. So, you know, I found out a lot of inferences when I told y'all about Winter and Winter Walker and her issues. Like, find out that like she had a lot of infiltration with stuff. People putting stuff in all types of stuff, plants, foods. It's just the most, right? So doing spell work and convincing other people to do spell work and walking around doing stuff with your exes, and yeah, it's all revealed when you start going and doing the work. So, patience, 3 of Swords, heartbreak. And I've been getting a lot of messages for people, Hangman. This looks like a lot of magic. The Hangman does come out sometimes when they talk about the witch's judgment. 10 of Cups. So in the hanging position, basically about a relationship, a partnership, a union. Ace of Wands could possibly be magic being done to keep them in a hangman position. Yep, what I tell you, the devil, somebody is holding on to them. And I'm very well aware of all the players that were using magic on the band, on Marcus. And y'all know a lot of these people. Some of them is their family members. So you got Tiana and Nina, who own businesses in the city. You got Kissy, who a lot of y'all know, also part of that agenda. Okay. That I just told y'all about. The Red Dragon agenda. Okay. And then you got people who just do magic, like straight up kitchen magic, like all types of. At the end of the day, people trying to control people, and then people got voodoo dolls. So then you got, there's a lot of interferences. You got like the Black Widows. Those of you who know people like Sayla and Shelly Flowers, like they have definitely dabbled in some magic. These are the covens that are shown to me. One of my best friends, really, that I don't really get to speak to. His baby mother also, I believe her family has some lineages in some magic and some witchery. Charnel Lambert and her little crew of coven witches. So, like, you know, it is what it is. And people gonna think I'm crazy for dropping names. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. I don't care. So, yeah, it's very much that. I've spoken about my uncle before. I've spoken about my aunt before. They're always putting people in competition. I'm pretty sure my uncle is a Satanist. I'm pretty sure of that. And you know, and then there's like weird shit going on in the go-go community. Like, people have signed their lives away. Okay, definitely backyard has definitely done something, which is why definitely the mayor is into something. Definitely controlling all the go-go things. Definitely, she probably doing spell work over the whole city. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Milton dude. Then you got, like, it's a lot going on. Then you got, like, weird shit with the museum store. You know, like, it's Wale and, like, if you pay enough attention in the city, you can see that there are things happening. Then you got stuff in people's elementary schools that have been following forever. Like, it's the worst. Like, I remember I had this principal who was horrible where I was at West. Her name was Dr. Musgrove. And I was just like, she just made my life a living hell when she came there. And I was not that type of kid. And that she was horribly ratchet to my mother. And, you know, it's just people like that. Like, I don't know. People are so nasty. And, you know, you just meet nasty people all the time. And it's people that basically just run around doing the most. And, like, y'all would be very surprised how many people are finding out, like, their lives have been projected on them, or they did spell work to get them to have babies with this person, or they did spell work to, like, cover up the fact that you even knew these people. Like, it's some weird things, and things come out that you really don't know. Like, somebody's probably doing candle magic on me right now. Please block that immediately and bind them. So, yeah. So, yeah. Basically, put that bubble around me. That protection bubble. Thank you. So, you do got to protect yourself. So the devil, let's see what else is coming out. The Chariot, fast movement. Fast movement. And y'all know I ain't got no cut cards. But people's family members, things like that. You got these mothers who are feeding whole neighborhoods and trying to keep kids all up under them. And siblings that are also doing the same thing and flying to Jamaica and getting spell work done. And IFA priests and doing voodoo work. And y'all, people are walking around with whole voodoo dolls controlling people. Like, y'all know I was really protective of the band because I could see people were being controlled and I didn't know how. I was like, what are people using? Like, but they're using straight up voodoo dolls. Like, I have seen men in trances where they are not controlling their body at all. Like, at all, y'all. Like, at all. And these women are basically trying to illegally do things to stack things up against these men. And I'm not saying these men are perfect, you know what I'm saying? But they are trying to get these men to go down for things that they are doing, that they want them to do for them. You know, and people are making sacrifices. People are losing their animals because they sacrificing them, you know, to get certain things from the magic. And people are out here drugging people and having weird sex parties, and they don't even know they're a part of it until after the part. And they're signing documents using voodoo dolls to do it, so they have control, but they don't. It's like, it's trifling. I'm like, I talked about my case and stuff like that. Like, absolutely know that people were doing spell work at my job, and people were doing spell work on the people at the job. Like, and people are also like bribing people and bribing lawyers and bribing like all y'all. It's deep, and the government been doing this. The government been known about it. They probably are just trying to figure out what's happening, but at the end of the day, ain't no all these organizations is trash, trash. So, and people need to look like y'all think it's like, oh, they're just giving them drugs and alcohol to keep them down. Like, no, they're not. They're also doing spell work. Like, this is why I tell my homies, like, yo, get blood tests done about with your kids and don't do it up under your junk. Like, do it separately from your junk. Don't tell your junk you're doing nothing. Like, these women really can go very far. They are using magic projections to change the DNA results and all types of stuff. Like, go somewhere, don't tell nobody you doing it. Like, it's so real, bruh. Like, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible. So fast moving, the chariot. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm always like, look, I'm a sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't about to let y'all be out here doing this. I don't care what type of stuff they done. A lot of the stuff people are doing is been on some survival shit. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not stupid, but I'm also not stupid. Like, I'm not stupid. I know that who I tell stuff to, and I let stuff go. Like, I let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to see what's really going on. Free. So Two of Pentacles, buying some things. Queen of Pentacles, somebody who could be really mothering, but also Capricorn energy. Six of Cups, looking back. Nostalgia. And then you got these control ass mamas that just like are inappropriate with their sons. Period. And then some of them are on the spell work. And some of them been doing spell work. So, you know, it just depends on what it is. But yeah, I was sitting there thinking about all these like weird things. And I was like, yo, I gotta ask this dude. Like, bruh, did you ever live over there? Because I swear to God, you look just like this dude. So, it's just really cool. Eight of Wands, magic, Seven of Swords, sneaking around. Four of Swords, that's that binding, you know? Like, sometimes you gotta learn how to bind people very quickly. So yeah, people have to be careful. There are agendas. There are other agendas. There's just agendas. You know, people will get on board or something because of their money. Five of Pentacles. Basically, you're worried about the bag with the keys in there with you. There they go. They're them damn witches. And also, like, some of these jumps just look obvious, right? Like the jump Beth that used to run around with the band, you know, like, there's people that have this vibe about them. And they have this whole vibe about them. And don't not pay attention to it. Then at some point I start breaking down like elementary school, middle school, and I was like, yo, how many people is doing magic right now? Like, stuff's been coming up in these like city readings these readings that are like very much about the city and like certain names. It's just crazy. and finally learning that we need to integrate. So, like, there are many gods, right? There are many gods in the spirit realm. You have God, right? Then you have Ra, you know, and then you have, like, the natives who have kind of been hidden, which I call spirit. And then you have the like the angels are under God, right? And then you have the gods and the goddesses, the entities like, you know, Nefertiti and such that who are underneath Ra. But there was time for them to integrate more. You know, people want to separate like, oh, I'm this person, this person. No, we embodied them. You know, the realm of Ra. You know, the spirit realm of God, which includes all those things, right? And I think and same with spirit. And so I think once you understand that, it becomes source. You know what I'm saying? It becomes the divine. It becomes source. And then you talk to who you feel like talking to that day. Our ancestors are here just for references, family lineages. Yes, a lot of them are powerful, but you do not attach them to yourselves. And that's what we have to stop doing. We're moving out of the age of Pisces. So it's being an age of Aquarius is more, it's not about these idol things that we're praying about, these idol gods, these idol things that, you know, that are happening. What's going on, Smoke? So it's not about all these idols. Like, we're walking around like, hey, boo. So we walking around like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, okay, I'm this person, I'm this. But if y'all notice, like, I have many people I resonate with because it's many different cultures. And so I'll talk about certain cultures, and it's very much like, so yeah, so very much is about like, you know, it's just embracing spirit, embracing all that comes with it. Knight of Swords coming towards somebody. But I'm highly protected, you know, highly favored. And I know that about myself. And I know at the end of the day, like, I'm not worried about certain things. I'm just not worried about certain things. So, yeah. I just wanted to share that part of the journey. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't get mad about certain things. Like, people do things for survival. But I just had to, like, start looking into things differently. Because I was like, yo, there's a lot of kitchen witches in the fucking city. And you know what's crazy is that everybody was, like, trying to be like, oh, like, go to the caterers and the small companies here because of the stuff that's happening with the COVID and the vaccinations and all that, right? And I was like, okay, cool. And then I started looking down the list and I was like, nah, bro, like, half of y'all is kitchen witches. Like, I'm cool on that. And y'all are all out here trying to control men, and then some of these, the daughters or the granddaughters don't even know that's what their grandparents are doing, don't even know that their mothers and their aunties are doing, and I just ain't got time for it. And then people recruiting people to do stuff against my masculine, not knowing that was my masculine, which means in turn I was also getting the magic, you know. And so that's what's trifling about it. Like, people are in here doing all death and rebirth. Knight of Cups. Emotional offer. Queen of Swords. Could be Libran energy. Page of Swords, some type of text message coming through. Six of Swords. Been on a journey. Did y'all hear that? Okay. So you got that King of Pentacles. Okay. The dude with the bag. But he's also like Earth energy. Could be Taurus. Could be Virgo and Capricorn. High Priestess. Judgment. So, you know, it's one of those things. So it's like, I was walking around like, okay, so y'all doing all this because I'm in love with a dude? Like, that's y'all mad because I'm in love with this nigga? Like, I don't understand what y'all mad about. What is y'all mad about? Like, And then y'all want to do all this stuff to try to interfere and force people with you and keep people in these cycles and out here, you know, shape shifting in other people's bodies and, you know, cloning yourself to be like somebody else. And like, meanwhile, you walking around like, bruh, like, I ain't heard from you in a month. Like, is you good? Like, and you walking around like you talk to me. Like, nah, you ain't talk to me, though. So, like, nah. Like, last time I saw you was January. The 1st of January, 2nd of January, somewhere around there. Like, and so you having to explain people, you know, I ain't got time for it. So recently it's been like, Alicia Keys' new album has actually resonated a lot. It's definitely on some like, on the Chosen Ones type thing, you know, on some royalty, like, dynasty, empire music. And then you got like Chris Brown, who I feel like people give like a very hard rep to, but like he's always kind of on some other shit anyway, like the Indigo album, things like that. Like, people don't even know what these things are. I've been know what these things are, like why these references are being used, things like that. So, you know, then you got people who speak about dynasties and empires and things like that. Like the Carters, who people, they, you know, people have their feelings about them, but it is what it is. And then you got people who I feel like have a consciousness about them, and maybe they probably had a harder time kind of getting out and being put where they are. So you got like, you know, Common, who has been putting out really dope music as of recent, as of always. But you know what I mean? Like, just that lines of where we're going, you know. Then you got people who always kind of spoke on that, like the Erykah Badu's, right? And then you got the people that were very much into like, just like the love of the music and just like the person, and you know, because y'all know how I feel about Erykah Badu and then Jill Scott. Okay, y'all just know how I feel about that. And it's just about an energy thing, and it's about people like embracing your culture, but also very much like, you know, understanding what we're moving into. So, 5 of Wands, some type of fight with a family. So yeah, so I was being attacked, and I don't have no cut cards like y'all. I already told y'all, like, I don't care. Y'all, you can have a girlfriend, a baby mother, a wife. None of that means nothing to my my consciousness, my 5D consciousness. It's about energy, and it's about respecting people, but it's also about like, what are you respecting? Like, are you just respecting some fake relationship and you supposed to just ignore your feelings and your heart, and you're like, but I think this person's my soulmate, and you're like, but they have a baby mother, like, okay. So and I'm not saying you move shady, I'm just saying it's about people like not being stuck in these situations. Don't stay somewhere just because your kids, like, get out of it because of your kids, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, spirit shows me exactly who the covens are. Like, I know who the covens are. I'm aware. I had to get aware because I was being attacked on many levels, and I was like, okay, something's going on. And once you get like involved in that area, it's just like, damn. And so there's a lot of people in these competitions and trying to get these lineages, and like, I know that my grandparents had lineages to certain things, but I just was never really about that life. Like, I just be minding my business. So the 10 of Pentacles, the Empress, so could also be somebody who's pregnant and pregnant with the world. Could be Mother Earth. The Hermit, which I actually think is more like our ancestors. The Queen of Cups. Why is the Queen of Cups out here, Spirit? Eight of Swords, bound in an illusion. Like, they're bound, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? 5 of Cups. Tripping about spilled milk, crying over spilled milk. 2 of Wands. Waiting for your ships to come in. trying to make a decision. Also, looks like stuck in the house. Yeah, stuck in the house. The 3 of Pentacles. That's work. That's that witch work. They're literally sitting there doing witch work and keeping somebody stuck in the house. They are keeping a King of Wands, a Leo. Also, my divine masculine sign. The world is coming to illumination. Let's go. Let's get these people entrapped. You hear me? So, let's see that. I don't like the way those came out. Y'all know, I don't be about that. Like, I don't like, you know, then you got like, just the Black Widow thing is terrible. So it's male and female Black Widows. They are basically supposed to be able to have sex with you. And pretty much every time you have sex with them, they can kill you. Like, they kill you. Literally. There are some people who can get past it. But that you have to have a certain level and divination to be able to resurrect from something like that. 9 of Pentacles. You know, and then finding out, like I have found out that my relationship that I had, a 5-year relationship I had with my ex Julian, and I'm finding out possibly that my best friend Winter and him started doing spell work on me at some point after I guess I broke up with him. But then I found out, like, you know, I'm a very faithful person. Like, once I'm in something, like, I'm in it. So, you know, I talked about my relationship openly. I did a lot. And basically found out that the entire relationship, he was cheating on me. With her. Which allows her to put magic on me. Which means that is why I was struggling all those years. Like, why I was like, I couldn't get out of certain things. Then you got all these, like, it's just, I mean, I'm talking about in my house type shit, in my bed. Like, yeah, it's a whole relationship. So, you know, these are the downloads I received. And then you got, like, the aunties, the old aunties that is doing the most because they don't want people to move up. And, you know, and then they got the ones that do want the people to move up, but they got the ones that don't want them to move up because they bitter as hell. You know, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like, but I can see all the colors. I can see all the old aunties. I can see the landlords that are the aunties, like, doing all types of work. And people got monsters and on them and entities, and I ain't got time for it. So the wheel, things turning in your favor with the Emperor. There he goes, the divine masculine, and the Empress is already out. So the Ace of Cups, offering the cup of love. The Moon, illuminating things. Strength, also Leo energy, and y'all know that's my my path. Like, once I came into my knowing, that's my actual sign, and of course my sun sign is Pisces. So King of Swords, coming in with that truth. So, 7 of Pentacles, planting them seeds. Page of Wands, like an exuberant energy. Ten of Wands, walking away. Taking the leap of faith. Ace of Swords. Knight of Wands, and the Lovers. So yeah, so I've had things, like they're gonna come into union. The unions are gonna happen. They're gonna have to happen. But what people don't understand is there are certain unions that holds off other unions. So there's a bunch of unions being held off for the same reasons. And there we go. You got the Queen of Wands. So that was a confirmation of the magic being used. Look just like that hoe too. Seven of Cups, having you in delusions and confusions. Six of Wands, Victor. And these could be things that I'm just now like revealing to people, and they need to dig into their shit and figure it out. Two of Swords, acting like you can't see, but you can. Acting like you can't get free, but you can. Ace of Pentacles, that bag. Let's go. The Tower. Boom. Because somebody wants to check up some money. People are putting spell work in their clothes. People are putting spell work in their hair products. People are putting it in their perfume. People walk around with pentagrams in the middle of their houses. I'm talking about pentagrams in the middle of their houses. Okay, I'm talking about go look at under their carpets in their living room. Go look at their carpets in their basement. In they businesses. People got whole pentagrams out here, and that's what they doing that work at. Like I said, that's what they doing that work at. That's what I said, like they doing that work at. All fire magic. Like I said, the magician. Let's go. So, also, I'm a magician. I'm a wizard, but I'm also a magician. And that's not often something that you can be as a female. They do not call us magicians. They call us high priestess. That's another problem. They don't call us wizards. They call us witches. That's another problem. It's always like, people don't walk around being like, oh, wizards are evil. They'll be like, witches are evil. That was the damn male agenda. And it was just time for that male agenda to go bye-bye. One, because women doing magic and natural magic their whole life. I ain't go to nowhere to train. I don't do candle magic. You know what I'm saying? I light candles for my, for my ancestors or for myself. Ten of Swords, being stabbed in the back. Nine of Cups, getting your wish fulfillment. So yeah, the spell work is real. And then it's like the twin thing. It's like the evil twin and the good twin. And like some of that was an agenda because twins are very powerful. A lot of the mothers and the aunties and the uncles do spell magic on them. So they start beefing with each other. It's a whole thing. And then the kids that are like of 3 are supposed to also be very powerful, right? King of Cups. Cancer energy. But also could be any water energy, but it could be somebody who meditates. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. Balance. Give and take. But also in exchange for money. It looks like in exchange for magic. This might be Carl's dumbass. So, y'all ain't got no cookouts. I will drop names on this now. Told y'all, if they kept playing, I was dropping names. So they decided to keep playing. So I'm going to drop them names. I'm assuming y'all going to share this video. Appreciate it. IG, I'd advise you not to take it down. This won't be the one you want to take down. The Sun. Sun is that everything, you know what I'm saying? That fire energy, but it's that everything. Cause we gonna get justice. Let's go. Also, people with like these heavy religious agendas, like, ain't nobody got time for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the wrong agenda. The Star, Aquarius energy, but also, somebody that's, can speak to the heavens. Somebody who might be an actual star. Anything else, Spirit? Let's play it out. Nine of Wands. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Wands, somebody holding on to really being guarded. Page of Pentacles. Looking like my homegirl death. Four of Wands, it's that damn candle magic, ritual magic. Four of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Walking away, being divinely protected. Seven of Wands, Eight of Cups, walking away emotionally. Nine of Swords, leading somebody in a motherfucking emotional trash ass energy. Oh well. Y'all know that shit. No, I really don't care because I've really been through hell on earth for a very long time. And specifically, people have been using projections and things like that to basically keep me stuck in the house since October, maybe. And it's been like torture. It's like they've cut my friends away from me. They have literally blocked my phone from connecting to people's phones. They have taken over my phones with their phones. They have created mirages and illusions, making my divine masculine think they've been dating me for the last month, talking to me for the last month. I haven't spoken to him since, it might have been a couple of text messages, but I have not seen him since January 2nd. And it's very much just like, where did everybody disappear to, right? And it was like, it's more than a matrix. It's literally like projections, and people are projecting like they're responding as me from a phone that they've added my number to. And then basically how they've done it is so they think they're talking to me. They think they've been bonding with me and talking to me, making sure I'm good, actually have hung out and been hanging out with these people and thinking that it's me, that they're dating me, that they kissing on me. And I'm here. I'm just here in my house. Have not been kicking it with anybody, talking to anybody, been completely isolated other than my god brother. And so, autumn release, lightning power. That's that oil energy. Fairies, earth magic. Ooh, earth magic, earth magic. Dreamtime creating. Dance, celebration. Instinct, wolf instincts. Let's go. But yeah, so I didn't want to keep y'all that long. I just wanted to drop a little couple of nuggets to everybody, because y'all know that's why I like to do it. You know what I'm saying? I like to find a little zhuzhy way, just to, get people out here. But, it's time for these things to come down. The Masons who out here being pedophiles and messing with boys and doing all type of weird initiations with them and then messing up their psyche. And then you got the Illuminati doing really the same thing, but they're hiding behind God, and you got the Masons hiding behind Ra, and then all these things are getting put on them, and it's like, nah, this is not the entity's problem. This is y'all's problem. This is y'all's problem. This ain't their problem. And then we got all this beef with the natives, and half of us are natives, and it's not all from rape. It's just not. A lot of it's from because we have powers that are supposed to combine, and then everybody's trying to fight against, like, oh, I'm a reptilian and I'm this. Like, yeah, we're supposed to hybrid that. We're supposed to have hybrid babies. Hence why I have the UniKOY dynasty I'm building. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's time for people to release my dude and stop keeping him trapped and stop thinking I'm not gonna call you out, because I got more. Trust and believe that. But I'd advise you just to go turn yourself in, release all the spell work and all the spell magic and all the other things that you have placed upon people here in this area or around anyone else. And I would really advise you to just stop while you're ahead and free whoever you have trapped in your illusions and your projections. It is time for you to turn your souls in and be honest. And if not, then you will be summoned to the witch's court, which there's only a few deaths there. Once the witch's cord has has attached themselves to you, you gonna go through a hanging, strangulation, death by fire. What else? That's pretty much it. So that's all I wanted to say. that I'm a grand wizard. That I am Mother Earth. That I embody all things raw and all things God and all things spirit all together. And that I am the first female winner of the former mystery school initiations and competition. The competition is now over, and the school is now called the Mindful Minds Academy to train other wizards of all sexes and ages. We are now fully integrated into the 5D mind, body, and soul. 5D consciousness into the 3D world are now integrated fully. It is time to wake up, everybody. Follow all instructions after that. And that's it. We're awake now. We're fully integrated. Bye, guys. Love and light.